I'm Josh Earn. I run the lending department here, the two CDFIs we have, and I've been here since 2010. I want to be a baseball player or Prime Minister of Canada, neither of which seems likely at this point. So I think my favorite project is one that still hasn't succeeded. I just really love all the things about it. It was this great couple down in North Carolina who were essentially given an old school campus by the North Carolina Historic Preservation Society, I think is what they're called. The couple had run a bed and breakfast in Argentina, and they were given this school campus that had been damaged in a hurricane. And they want to convert it to old affordable housing for seniors. And they've been trying for now 4 years, actually as long as I've known my now wife, who I have a 6-month-old baby with. They just really want to make it happen, and I love that we were able to give them some funds to try to help that out, and when it finally is successful, it's going to be pretty awesome. It feels like an industry where we should be getting a lot more young people involved than we do. Especially on the lending side, and affordable housing finance and development. There are really smart young people in college who would love, I think, to be doing business work, accounting work, finance, with a mission and with a heart and trying to make a difference in the world. And it took, no one really knows about the field. There are a few programs around the country that do it, but that you really have to luck upon it. And it feels like something that, as an industry, we can do a better job of telling people about it, and also creating jobs and other things that really feed into the field and have entry-level jobs that people feel like they're making a difference. There's lots of things I like to do. I love the zoo. It's free and you can just walk in for like 10 minutes, which is pretty great. But sort of the DC things, my favorite thing is the George Mason Memorial, or the George Mason Monument, which no one knows about. It's tucked behind Thomas Jefferson. And my favorite thing to do when you go down to the monuments is to go start at, I guess now Martin Luther King, and walk that way around the tidal basin. So you go see FDR in order, because it's linear timing and pretty cool. And then you cross the bridge, and before to go see Jefferson, but sort of a little bit beyond the road, there's the George Mason Monument, where he's just sitting on a bench, chilling, legs crossed. And I was like, this is such a weird monument. Why is it here? Nobody talks about it. And I was convinced that it was like somebody who was terrible probably argued that we needed a terrible person, that he'd somehow done something and he needed to be there. But then it turned out, quite to my surprise, he's like my favorite of the founding fathers. I didn't know anything about him. I'm Canadian after all. That's why I wanted to be Prime Minister of Canada. It wasn't just a weird thing as an American wishing to be Prime Minister of Canada. And so I looked into George Mason a little bit, and it turns out that he refused to sign the Declaration of Independence. We'll call it the Declaration of Independence. One of the original documents, because it didn't go far enough to abolish slavery. And so then he became like my favorite founding father, and his monument's just this awesome little garden where he's sitting cross-legged thinking. Chocolate milkshakes, they're just so delicious. But it's very important that they're made with chocolate ice cream. A lot of people make chocolate milkshakes with chocolate syrup and vanilla ice cream, and that's just not right. You have to ask often. And you can tell the difference. People claim you can't tell the difference, but I guarantee you, if you put 15 milkshakes in front of me, I'd know which ones were chocolate ice cream and which ones were chocolate syrup. So sometimes I get really excited about milkshakes and then find out that they only have vanilla ice cream, and I get really sad. Just Josh and you, because you earned it. Maybe just Josh and you. I think just Josh and you. What would it be? What would my book be about? It's a good question. I just would name it just Josh and you because I liked it's funny. But it would be, I guess I probably won't write it yet. I'll wait till I really achieve something as the 45-year-old baseball playing Prime Minister of Canada, when I've really achieved my childhood dreams, and then it'll be a nice full circle story. My book would actually be about someone else. That would be what would be so tricky. It's just Josh and you. I mean, people would rather read a book about Justin Trudeau, or maybe a book about me with pictures of Justin Trudeau.